Hello, I'm Keith Morrison, and this is a Dateline mini mystery.
GQ calls him the granddaddy of true crime. He's regularly parodied on SNL.
What did they find when they opened up the trunk of that car?
It was my boyfriend's body.
Oh, my.
And crowds of true crime-obsessed fans stop him for selfies at events like CrimeCon and South by Southwest.
I just don't get it at all, but, it's quite nice. People are very nice to me.
Keith, humble since the day I met him, won't say it himself, but the attention is very much warranted. Over the last handful of years, Dateline has exploded with 11 #1 original podcasts and 1.4 billion downloads. Keith's famous voice, the main character.
These are great stories, and you're unshackled when you're doing podcast storytelling. So I love doing them.
Dateline.
Keith joined the Friday News magazine in 1995 after a career at both NBC and in Canadian TV. Over the span of his more than 50-year career, Keith has covered stories worldwide, interviewing everyone from veterans to student protesters in Tiananmen Square to the biggest names in entertainment. But for the last several years, true crime has taken center stage. Keith's upcoming project, Murder in the Hollywood Hills, is about a band of women who would come face to face with a killer. Off camera, Keith lives a relatively quiet life in California with his wife of 43 years, Suzanne. Together, they've raised 6 kids, including the late actor Matthew Perry, who was just 10 when Keith and Suzanne married.
I never tried to replace his dad, but I was there for him, and he knew it, and we were close.
Their family suffering an unimaginable loss in October of 2023. How are you and how is your wife after Matthew's passing?
Well, it's as other people have told me hundreds of times, it doesn't go away. It's with you every day. It's with you all the time. And there's some new aspect of it that assaults your brain. And, it's not easy. It's especially for his mom. Toward the end of his life, they were closer than I've seen them for decades, and texting each other constantly. And so he was happy, and he said so. And he hadn't said that for a long time. It's a source of comfort, but also, he didn't get to have his third act, and it's not fair. As he said himself, if I suddenly died, people would be shocked, but not too many people would be surprised. And he was right, I think.
Did it surprise you?
It was the news you never want to get, but you think someday you might. So, yes and no, I guess, is the answer to that.
Yeah. Do you still feel his presence? Do you sense him?
We do this, it's just become this funny trope of Dateline, lit up a room, right? We're the center of the room. Well, he was, and he was always the center of attention everywhere he went. That kind of personality. He was goofy, he was funny, he was acerbic, but even if he didn't say a word, he was the center of attention. So yes, it's gone, but you still feel the echo of it everywhere.
Matthew's passing coming just a year after the release of his memoir, which chronicled the actor's ongoing battle with addiction.
As he put it himself in his book and in the talks that he had about his book, it is a disease, and it's a very, very difficult one to beat. He felt like he was beating it, but you never beat it. And he knew that too.
Keith, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I'm really sorry. In the wake of Matthew's passing, family and friends have started a foundation in his name.
The goal is to do whatever can be done to help organizations rescue people in difficult situations and get them some help.
Keith doing in life what he does so well at work, amplifying the voices of others no longer here to tell their own story.
I still find it remarkable that you can be in a room with half a dozen other people, a couple of television cameras, lights everywhere, and the knowledge that what you're saying will be seen by millions of people, and they do trust us. These are truly, truly, truly deep and difficult things to get through. But I come away from those conversations feeling it's a gift. We're lucky people, you and I.
We are. We are.
Wow.
First of all, if you loved Keith already, you saw a whole other side to him. And he's never spoken about Matthew. And I was almost afraid to ask him about it. Because when you love someone so much, you're like, that's his private stuff. But he wanted to speak about him. And I was so honored that he chose to do that.
I think your friendship and your long relationship was so evident there because he really shared his heart with you. And you could just see that's a heart in pain. A heart not that was in pain, that is in pain.
And Keith's really protecting his wife's heart too, because he kept saying that throughout, like, my wife is really, having a difficult go here. But he's a good human being, Keith is, and someone good to have in your corner. So
Well, we just love him. And that was the podcast.
Yep.
So there's a lot more. I should mention.
Yep.
So Making Space is the name of the podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you can find it. You can also, right now, scan the QR code on the screen, and it'll take you where you need to go. And that extended conversation
It
with
drops
Keith.
today? Or?
yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
today.
it does.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.